Hello. Today's August 10th, and as of this recording, I haven't um, posted the last video because of how it ended, and it's bothered me. Uh, that's why I've not shared the last video yet until this video. And my wife and daughter were coming in, and that's why it stopped so abruptly. But I believe most things happen for a reason, and uh, just how I view things. But my wife and daughter, and I've learned more about even as of this past week, how difficult about how puppy life, um, about how difficult it was for my wife and daughter, and this instance was with my daughter. But anyways, um, so I know that they've not watched these videos. Well, I guess they've watched a little bit, but not a whole lot. And I don't anticipate them watching these. And um, so it was difficult for them. It was a difficult time, and but I was talking to um a friend at church today, and he was talking about these videos. Joe, it's you. And if you happen to get this far, um, and so just about how good the like how he appreciated these, and so the way the last video ended, uh, I was going. I'd started getting a little irate about no, gotta. It is all a whole new world for me with having a puppy, and I would I don't think you can reverse the camera anymore. I'll show you, but so I was going on a tangent and about my frustrations, I was hurt. I was hurt, but that's not what this is about. Uh, I was sharing my perspective, and whether you want to admit it or not, like it or not, there is other people's perspectives as well. I also have my old church's perspective. I don't know what they were going through. I don't know um, what those individuals. It, it, everyone has a everyone has their side, and then somewhere in between all, there's the truth, and God's truth, if you will. And so I was on my little tangent, sharing frustrations, but and I'm not making excuses for it. I understand a lot of my flaws, my faults, uh, and again, I'm a human, and so I'm not gonna cut it out. I'm not gonna edit it. These videos were to show this side of me, this vulnerability, this whatever you want to call it. That's what this was all about, and my growth, my journey through the passing of my dad, everything comes along with it, and so in talking with Joe today, I had mentioned that um, I had did some Facebook Live videos after my dad passed, just thanking people for um, um, the outpouring of love. And I had enough understanding that I recognized that I had been shattered. So I did understand that. I stated in one of the videos, well, probably several of them. I only did a couple, but that I wanted to have a softer heart. I wanted to just be a softer person. I wanted to be kinder, and so I use the Facebook, you know, your year memories, 2 year, whatever your memories, and I like some stuff. I look and I'm like, did I really share that? And then other stuff, I look at it and like, wow, I've really grown. And so part of my prior to my dad passing, I dealt with for a good majority of my life, I dealt with anger, and always, I guess, like a chip on my shoulder or something. And so I'm sorry, I'm OCD. My wife has diagnosed me with all of them, and although my therapist did too. So I guess she was right. Um, so majority of my life, I've dealt with anger. I've dealt with um, battling that stuff, and I don't like to be that way. But I had a friend in school who she just said, you know, Keith, if you don't stand up for yourself, and you know, you're gonna be dealing with nonsense. And this is in junior high, and I went from one extreme to the other, and uh, and it just became a battle, and it became too easy for me. And so in that last video you saw, and that wasn't even, that was not, that was a scratching. That was just a little scratch of the surface, of like, it really was. I really can't even. At one point in life, that would have escalated, and got more and more, and you know, whatever. I'm just saying that I'm human. I'm saying that I recognize that I still love everyone there at my old church. I love them all. I'm allowed to disagree. They're allowed to disagree with me. Uh, they're just wrong. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Um, but I don't know their side. I don't, you know, and the last video, I think I was just too hard on them. I was too hard on the individuals, but I was hurt. And again, I'm not justifying my actions. I'm not justifying my words. I'm saying that I recognize that uh I'm just glad that my wife and daughter came in when they did. And because I was going down a rabbit hole and it was just escalating. And like I said before, I don't rewatch these videos. I don't edit them. I just speak right from the heart. This is what I do. Um, Pastor asked me about um, sharing a testimony, and he would give me questions. And I said, honestly, I like to just talk right from the heart, because then I start over analyzing, and it's like, oh, that's not good. That's over, you know, like, and then I start second guessing myself, and I don't like that. So if I was to rewatch these, I would never share any of them. And so um, I think I've gotten more comfortable as these videos have gone on, and I wish I would stop saying and all the time, but so I am conscious of that. But yeah, I'm not a YouTuber. I will never be a YouTuber, influencer, whatever. I'm just not. Well, I'm an influencer in my own way, I guess. But um, I digress. Fact of the matter is I love all of them there, and I've gone. My family and I have gone a different direction, and it's worked out really well for us. And and I don't know what their side is, and so uh, you know, just forgive me for the way I started coming across. Um, it just uh, I I love that I'm able to look back, because at the start of this with my dad, I said I wanted to have a softer heart. I recognized I had been shattered. I recognized that God was going to do something in the midst of everything. I didn't know what. I didn't know the journey I was about to have, the journey I was about to endure. Um, but I can look back and smile and think, man, I have grown. I have grown so much. And you know, to be able to say that you've grown in the Lord is is what it's all about anyways. And being able to uh, reflect and see the growth and how far you've come. And because prior to my dad passing, I've had a lot, like I had a lot of walls built up that are simply not there. And I'm getting ahead of things, but I'm trying to. The whole purpose of this was to share the goodness of God and how far He's brought me. That's what all this is about. Is that um, even even Christians can go through dark times, and it does not mean that God has left you. It does not mean. It just means life has happened, and sometimes life it just it's not fun. And but yeah, it bothered me how that video ended. It's why I've not shared it. I'm about to after I end this one. I'm glad my wife and daughter walked in when they did. I was able to draw back and think, you know what? I'm painting. I'm starting to paint them in a bad light, and that's not my intentions here. So if anyone from that church sees, that is not my intentions, and I want everyone. I don't know who's going to watch these, but I'm human. I make mistakes. I say things that I don't really. Sometimes I mean them. I say things that I'm not really expressing myself correctly, and because I do disagree with how they handled things. But again, that's my perspective. I might not be looking. It's through my lens, not theirs. I don't know what they're. We've not had that conversation, nor is a conversation needed. But it's my perspective. Doesn't make me right. It doesn't make me wrong. It just means it's my perspective. And I don't have all of the facts. I only have mine. And that's all I have to go by. Who knows? Maybe I did something and maybe I was overlooking something. Maybe I just didn't see something. Yeah, I mean, the list can go on. The fact of the matter is, no one there is bad. No one at that church is bad. Just a disagreement. That's it. And and the bottom line is we are all sinners just trying to get up and keep moving forward. That's the bottom line. And but sometimes life gets in the way and it jades you. It does different, whatever. I had a, mine's not even the worst story. There's other people with way worse stories than me. There are some people that have gone down a spiral and are still fighting. And so I'm very fortunate that my spiral was not as bad as others. But my heart goes out to those people because I know how bad mine was. I know how big the struggle was. And I'm not trying to go back. I'm not trying to open that door back up. I'm just stating that um, you don't. It is not. It is not just your side. It's not just my side. There, whoever else is involved, there's their side as well, and you have to take that into account, and um, and and just try to see it from their perspective. I will. I never. I will never believe that they had ill intent towards me. I will never believe that they were trying to hurt me. I will never believe that the email sent was, to provoke me and, the way it did. They didn't know I was going to receive the message I did the way I did. I don't believe for a second that that's how they meant it. And but that's the new Keith. The old Keith, prior to my dad, would have been like, I'm going to get them. I'm going to burn them down. Shred them. This is not who I am anymore, though. Nor do I want to be like that. Hypothetically, they meant it ill. Hypothetically. I don't believe that. But hypothetically, they did. That's between them and God, not me. I'm not gonna receive that, and I'm not gonna accept that that's how they believe, how they said it. Even if they were saying, "Yeah, Keith, we were trying to provoke you." Hey, whatever. That fine. There is something deeper going on with you, and my heart goes out to you, and I will pray for you. But it is not my responsibility to hold on to that because if anything, it's only holding you back from your walk with God. So I just refuse to believe. Even if someone was to tell me, yes, Keith, you received it exactly the way we meant for you to receive it. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for you that you have a, have gone down that path. But I'm just gonna keep marching forward because I've lived too much of my life being held back by stuff that doesn't really matter. It does not matter. And in one of my Facebook live after my dad passed, he said, he would always say, in 100 years it doesn't matter. And in one of the videos, I said, my dad's right. In 100 years it doesn't matter because we're gonna be gone. But it's what we leave behind. He, yes, in 100 years, it doesn't. His journey has done. He is done and complete. He reached his. That was it. But what he instilled in my brother and I still lives on. What we are instilling in our children is still carrying on. So yes, directly in 100 years, it will not matter for me. The things that have happened to me will not matter. How I rise above them, how I go through them, does matter only because the people that are looking. And that was the only thing that if I go back and tell my dad, yeah, but I get what you're saying, but um, how you hold things, how you go about things, my brother and I are seeing. We watch. Same with my mom. And so I lived too much of my life holding on to stuff that I never was meant to hold on to. And I have a freedom now that I've never had. I have a freedom now that I've never. No, I've never had this kind of freedom. I just haven't. I will freely go up to the altar during worship service. I will freely worship. I will freely thank God. I I could be the only one. I don't care. Whereas prior to my dad, I was too timid. I was too scared, um, too bashful, and like I said in some of these earlier videos, I could sit there and be silly and be like, whatever, make anyone laugh, do whatever. When it came to serious stuff, I had a really hard time. I still do. It's just the more I keep pushing through, uh, the easier it's becoming. So, the way that last video ended, um, I I'm glad my wife and daughter walked in, because I wasn't gonna keep the video going just because I don't. I know all this is hard for them, and not me doing the videos, just reliving things, and I don't ever have I don't have anything set in stone how I'm gonna do these videos. This was not even part of the. I was. This was never part of it, but I also didn't know I was gonna react the way I did in the last video, and again, I'm not gonna watch it. I know how I feel and how I felt. Just yeah, no. I need to touch on that, and this has gone on way too long. So if you're watching this, I hope I haven't bored you to death, but it is how my brain works. I don't script anything. I don't nothing. I just speak right from the heart, and call me silly, call me whatever you want. I don't really care. Um, I'm just if I can help one person, excellent. And apparently, I've already done that. And I'm not even finished with these yet. Pretty close. I am pretty close, I believe. But again, these have gone on a lot longer than I thought they'd go, series wise. Uh, just because I'm taking you through the journey. Have a good day.